last time we stopped here. So we talked about Power BI a little bit, but we didn't have a chance to finish this part. So today what I'm going to do is that we are going to continue from here, from where we left last time. So basically, what you yeah, so basically everyone has an actually access to the Power BI, the web service version. So if you go to this Power BI link here, which is shown here, then you should be able to log in using your Office 365 account from our school. So let's do that together. Before that, make sure that you had the CSV file you downloaded last time, which is on the Blackboard, basically. On the Blackboard, if you go to the course contents, we have this financial sample.xlsx Excel file. So please download this on your PC, on your desktop, somewhere you can access, because we are going to use this file today for this part. So yeah, everyone please download this financial sample.xl file on your PC first. So once you download this, then we may go to the Power BI web service. So simply open the new tab here and type this link, powerbi.microsoft.com. And then you will be able to go to this Power BI website. And on the right top corner, you cannot see here, but here, basically, here, right top corner, there's this sign in. So you can click this sign in button on the right top corner. And then, so I'm signed in because, yeah, I'm automatically signed in because I already logged in, but for you, you can probably do this. For you, if you click sign in, then it will show, basically you will have an option to log in using the Office 365. It will show some option. So you can choose the Office 365 login option, and then you can log in using your school email address and the password. Then if you log in, you will see this screen basically. So basically here you are able to do some visualization and yeah, do those things. So make sure that you log in using your Office 365 account from our university. And then we are going to basically import the Excel file, which we downloaded from the course content at the Blackboard. So to import an Excel file into Power BI, you can use this option here. On the left bottom corner here, there's this option called Get Data. So there's this button saying Get Data. So you can click this one. And then it will show, again, multiple options here. So among all these options, what we are going to use is this option, the files, basically. So in this case, I prepared already some data in the Excel file, which is financial sample.xl. And then we are going to use that file to import data into Power BI. There's also database option here, but so as I mentioned briefly last time, if you use Microsoft Power BI desktop version on your PC, then you are able to connect to MySQL and other database server, and you are able to import data directly from the server. That is possible. However, if you use Microsoft Power BI web version like this, here only Microsoft Azure database is accessible from this web service. So we are not able to connect to MySQL at this moment. So that's why I prepared the file, and we are going to import the file. So that's what we are going to do. So click this Get button here under File, and then you can choose the local file, and then you can find the financial sample.xl, which you downloaded from the Blackboard, and then you can open it. So in my case, I already have data here, but yeah, now if you see these two options, you can choose the first one, import, not upload. Choose the import. So here, choose this option, import, because we want to import data into our Microsoft Power BI. So I already have this data set, so I don't need to import again. But if you import it, yeah, it will be basically done. Okay. So once you import your dataset will be listed here on the left navigation bar here. So there are multiple options here. And the last option here is my workspace. So basically everything you do here will be listed here. So if you import the dataset, it will be here. If you make a visualization, it will be here. So if you click this downside arrow, which say expand next to the my workspace, then it has option, it has a category for dashboard, report, workbooks, and dataset. So under dataset, you will see a financial sample is loaded correctly here. So if you click financial sample, basically, you will be redirected to this screen where you are able to do visualization, basically. So that's the main thing. So let me move this here. Okay. So if I briefly explain about the UI, the user interface of the Power BI web service, then it's like this. So basically, yeah, everything will be listed on the left navigation bar. And then there are multiple options as it's showing here. So here there's a filtering option. So you have a data set, you have a lot of data, but you don't want to utilize all the data. You want to select a certain part of data to do visualization. You can use the filtering option. And also there's a visualization options here. So there are multiple visualization you can utilize will be shown there. And here on the last part, there's a fields. Basically all the columns that exist in the Excel file will be shown here. So you can utilize these fields to do visualization. And if you look at the variables, basically if you look at the fields, some field may have some icon like this. So in this case, we have a country field, and next to the country, you will see this kind of a globe icon, it looks like a globe, basically the Earth. If you see this icon, it means there is a map feature you can utilize for this field. So it's the country field. So country field contains the name of the country, and based on that, you can utilize the map feature when you do visualization. Also, some fields will show this symbol. Basically, it's the summation numerical symbol. So if you see this summation symbol, the aggregation is possible because having summation symbol means that this field is a numerical field. If the field is a numerical field, the Power BI supports some of the aggregation function you can utilize, something like a count, summing up, calculating average, finding minimum, finding max, something like that. So there is no icon next to the field. It means that field is considered to have a textual information. So you can think about that. So let's try to make some visualization here. So best way to make yourself familiar with this kind of a tool is by trying and doing something. So, okay, let's try to make this a bar chart in the Power BI actually. So how to do that? So first of all, before you create any visualization, you have to make sure that nothing is selected. So just click any empty space in your canvas here. So when you make some visualization on Power BI, basically it will be added into this canvas, and make sure that nothing is selected before you make a visualization. So just click anywhere here, and then choose the visualization that you want to create. So in this case, we want to make a bar chart. So let's choose this one on the top row. in the middle, this visualization, if you put your mouse cursor on, it says clustered column chart. So let's find this clustered column chart and let's click this to add it on your canvas. So if I click this, it will be added there. And then let me resize this a little bit. Okay. And let me hide the filter bar here. Okay. And let's do exactly what the slide is saying. So let's put the axis. So basically the information, the visualization we want to create is showing information about the sales from each segment by each country. So this company is selling things to multiple countries, and we want to know how much sales this company is making for each segment in each country. If we want to know that, we can do this. So we can put the axis in the country. We can put the country into the axis. So basically here in the field, find what you want to add. So there's country here. So you can click and drag this into axis. So basically drag country into axis. And let's put segment into legend. So segment is here. So drag this into legend. And then let's put sales into values. So sales into values. So again, earlier I mentioned that sales is currently a numerical field, so you are able to utilize aggregation. So if you click this downside arrow, it shows some option to do aggregation here. So you can do summation, average, minimum, maximum. In this case, we want to know the total sales, so we'll just use summation of sales. So that's it. So by just a few clicks, you are able to create this kind of a visualization. So it shows total sales of each segment in each country, and it's comparing those values. Basically, in the USA, a lot of sales are in this segment, which is the government sector. So this company is selling a lot to the government sector in the US. However, in the France, they are selling a lot to so in the US, actually, this is a small business. So they are selling a lot to small business. And in France, they are selling a lot to the government sector. So that's how you can create this visualization here. So that was bar chart. So similarly, you can also create other charts. So let's try some. So line chart is here. So again, to add a new visualization, make sure that you click any empty space in a canvas. It's because of this. So if some visualization is selected, and if you choose another visualization, then this visualization will be changed into another one. So if you want to add a new visualization, make sure that you click any empty space in your canvas, and then you find visualization feature you want to add. So this time, I want to add this line chart. So it's on the second column, second row on the first column, basically here, line chart. So click this to add it in the Power BI. And then let's just say that we want to show the sales. We want to show how the sales changes over time across different country. Then we can add this. So we can add the year and months. Let's find the year, which is on the bottom. So let's add the year, drag it into axis. And also let's drag months, which is in the middle here, under axis, under year in the axis, like this. So year and months are together in the axis. And then let's put country into legend. So country into legend. And sales into values. Okay, then that's it. Then we'll see a graph like this. But currently there's a problem because I put year and months together in the axis. So I want to see how their sales change over time, over each month. But currently it shows only year, right? 2013 and 2014. So currently we have a year and months. We want to utilize both of them, but only the first one, year is used. So if we want to make this visualization to use both of these variables as axis, then you may click this option here. So the UI is slightly changed from the last time. So the slide is slightly different, but the icon is basically here on the top right corner of the visualization. In the middle, you can find this one here, this icon. So if you put your mouse cursor on, it says expand all down one level in the hierarchy. That means that basically everything in your what you selected as axis will be used. So click this one, find this one, expand all down one level in the hierarchy, and click this. Then your visualization will show up correctly. So now if you look at the x-axis, both of year and months are used together to represent the x-axis, and you can see that the total sales are changing over time during this period, and each line represents different country, like this. Okay, so that's how you can add a line chart here. And another thing I want to show is this. It's the map visualization. So in the Power BI, you can also utilize the location information. And using the location information, you can visualize on a map basically. So let's try to add some visualization here. So again, just click any empty space on your canvas so that none of the graph is selected. And then here, let's find this one, this visualization. It looks like a globe here, basically. It's on the first column and in the middle here, in the middle row. If you put your mouse cursor on it, it says map, and it looks like a globe icon. So find this, and let's click this to add this map feature in the Power BI here. Okay. And here, let's drag a country into location. And segment into legend. So segment into legend. And let's do sales into size. So sales into size. So basically we want to show how the sales amounts are different across the different countries. And we want to show that information in a map like this. So basically each country has this pie chart, and pie chart has different colors. So we are able to know what's the stage of each segment in a different country. So if you zoom, you can compare between Mexico and US. Basically, this company is making much more sales in the US compared to Mexico. And also France and Germany, you can compare the information like this. So basically, that's the map visualization. So here we use the country because our Excel dataset contains the name of a country in a field. However, you can also use the latitude and the longitude information. So basically, if your dataset contains some geolocation information like GPS information, then you can use that and you can put it here using the latitude and the longitude data. Also, if you have the city name, it's also possible to put here. If you have address information, you can also possible to put under location. So everything will work, in this case. So basically the graph and the visualization you create in the Power BI will be interactive visualization. What it means is that if you put your mouse cursor on some of these data points, it will show the exact number and details like this. So if I put my mouse cursor on 2014 April or March, then it will show the exact value in that month across these 5 lines. So that is possible. And also, if you want to add some additional information in the visualization, what you can do is this. You can click one visualization. So in this case, let me click this line graph so that I select this line graph. And on the here, the right part, currently we are putting the variables here in each options, right? Like axis region. So we are setting the variable. And in the middle, under the visualization feature, there is this one in the middle. If you put your mouse cursor on it, it says format. So if you go to format, you can change some of the option here. You can change the color and plot area title. You can edit or you can hide it or something like that. So you can change some of the option. And the last one here, this one, it says analytics. If you put your mouse cursor on it, it says analytics. So if you click this one, here you can add like additional line. So I can add some constant line here, and the value is probably 2 million or something like that. Then you can add this line here too. So you can add some line or additional things like this. So I can add the average line or something like that. And the highlight the number. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure whether you can highlight a certain number. I think it's possible. Maybe you can, yeah, you can try here. Yeah, you can try like many different options here. Then I think you should be able to find something. You can try. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly, but this is interactive visualization. So for each like detailed information, if you just put your mouse cursor on certain part, it will show more detailed information. Okay, the next one I want to show is the scatter chart. So scatter chart is actually good at showing a correlationship between two variables. So for example, the one of the things is this. So last time I briefly mentioned that I'm a big fan of data visualization, and data visualization should be really data visualization actually can be done really well to effectively show a certain part of data or big data basically. And each visualization actually has a different purpose. So for example, like something like a bar chart, it's usually good to compare the size or values across different category. And line chart is usually good at showing how certain things are changing over time. So if you want to show uh, time, so let's say that if your data set contains some time specific variable, like a panel data set, and then if you want to show the change over time, how certain things are changing over time, then usually line graph is good. And for the scatter chart, usually it's good to show correlationship between two different variables. So when a certain thing changes, will the other thing change? So if you want to show that kind of correlationship, then scatter chart is usually a better option. So let's try to add a new graph here. So just click any empty space here and find this chart here in the middle here. So if you put your mouse cursor on it, it says scatter chart. So you can click this and you can add it into Power BI. So if I click the scatter chart, it will be added here. And let's try to make a graph that shows a correlationship between sales and profit over time. Then what you need to do is very simple. Let's add the country into region first. And then let's add the sales into x-axis. And let's add the profit into y-axis. And let's put sales into size again, so that each dot has a different size based on the sales. And let's put months into play axis. So what I want to do is that basically I want to see how the correlationship between sales and profit change over time. Yeah, so we made this graph, and one thing noticeable is this. So in this graph, you can see that now there is a sales on the x-axis and the profit on the y-axis. So it shows a correlationship between sales and profit for each country. So there is a correlationship, of course. And one thing is that we added months into the play axis. So currently, if you look at this visualization, it says December. So it says December here, and if you look at the bottom left corner, then you will see this play button. So let's click this play icon and see what happens. So if I click this play icon, then basically you will see that these dots are moving over time. And the months here are also changing, right? So basically now it's showing how the correlationship between sales and the profit changes over time. So this kind of interactive graph is also possible to be made in the Power BI or any other business intelligence software which is focused on the visualization. So that's what I mean by interactive visualization. So this visualization you create in Power BI or any other software like Tableau will be actually very different from what you usually create in the Microsoft Excel. So in Microsoft Excel, if you create something, it will be not interactive, it will be static. So the graph doesn't change basically. However, in Power BI or any other data visualization software these days, if you create a graph or visualization, then it's interactive. So basically the audience and the user is able to play with that visualization and they are able to interact with it. So that's the powerful feature of this kind of tool, basically. So another thing, the last thing I want to talk about here is the slicer. So currently, this part is full, right? So we have added the full visualization in this report, and it's kind of full. So let's make some space to add a new visualization. So here there's a map visualization. I click this, and I resize it to make it smaller so that I have some space to add a new visualization here. So um, let's just click again any empty space here. So let me put the, and also you can look at the slide, all the information is there. But this time the visualization that I want to add here is a slicer, so which is this one here, basically. So it's on the first column on the visualization feature, and it's almost at the bottom, the second to the bottom. If you put your mouse cursor on it, it will say slicer. So if you find this visualization, simply click this and let's add it into your here canvas. So click this slicer. So I add it there, and here there's one option field. So basically, slicer will give an audience and a user to choose a certain part of data to see that part of the information. So what I'm going to add here is a country. So let's drag this country into field. So drag this country into the field and let's add it here. And then let me change some option here after adding this. Go to here, the format basically. So we just added the country here, and here in the middle, there is an option for a field, format, and analytics. But let's go to the format. So let's click format. And under format, there's something called selection controls here. So let's open selection control. Currently, single select is off. It means that a user is able to choose multiple country, multiple option. And multi-select with the control is on. So for a user to choose multiple options, they have to use a control key on the keyboard. Let's change this into off. Let's change this into off so that user can simply choose multiple countries by clicking. That's all. So now if you look at your canvas, we have this country and there are 5 options. So we have all this visualization for 5 countries, which are the countries this company is doing business with. But if you want to see only the data about the USA, so sales data to the USA, then you can simply click USA and choose that. So if I click USA, I am only able to see data for the USA. So all the visualization will be updated based on my selection here on the slicer. So if I want to compare the sales between USA and Mexico, I can simply click Mexico and choose that. Then all the visualization will be updated to focus on these two countries. So if I want to uncheck that, if I want to exclude some country, then I can uncheck like this. So if I want to look at Germany and France only, I can click Germany and France like this. So that's how you can basically interact with the visualization. And also another thing is that even though without slicer, you can do some of the interaction. So for example, here in the bar chart on the top, there is a segment, right? So we put a segment here. So let's say that I want to compare, I want to focus on the sales information to the government sector. Then I can simply click this government here. Then all the visualization will be updated again by focusing on the data for the government sector. If I want to look at small business, I can click that like this. Yeah, so that's it. So that's a basically nice thing about the interactive visualization here. So basically, we'll call this as a report here. So basically, in this canvas, you added multiple visualization, and basically this one set of visualization in the canvas. We call this as a report. So you can save it and you can download it too. So basically, to save it, you can go to the file option on the top left corner here. So if you click file, then there's option to save report and print report and something like a download. But I think download is not working because we are utilizing the free version. So download option will not be available. So if you are using like a paid version, so the company, your organization or company is using Power BI, and if they are using paid version, you can actually download your report and you can open it on your Power BI desktop. That's also possible. So let's just save the report. So you can click save and you can save your report. So I just say test BA and save it. Okay, so once the report is saved, it will bring you into this leading view. So basically so this is basically the view that how your audience and user will see. So if you want to edit report, you can change back into editing view. So how you can do, there's an edit button. So if you want to change the edit the report again, then you can click the edit. Then it will bring you back into the editing view. And if you want to see how your report looks like to the user, then you can click this leading view to go back to the, this view basically. Also, there's the export option, so you can export your report into PowerPoint file, PDF file like this. But the thing is this, so if you export into PowerPoint or PDF file, your graph will be static. So it will not be interactive anymore because by itself, PowerPoint and PDF is not interactive. So if you want to share your report, if you want to share your interactive report, you have to use this share option here. So if you go share option, there are 3 options here. The first one is basically sending a link to your report by email. And also you can embed your report into a website. It will be public, and you can also generate a QR code so other people can use the QR code to look at your report. So that's possible. But for this sharing option, there might be some limitation if we are using free version. So some of the options might not work perfectly. So that's something you have to know. Because we are using the free version, basically. So also there's a dashboard option. So the thing is this. Let me show you the screen. Okay. So basically everything is on the slide. So what I mentioned here is all on the slide, so you can check it again later. And there's also dashboard option. So basically, from one data set, you can create multiple visualization and you can put that in one report. So each report will contain multiple visualization from one data set. And you are able to add some visualization from report into dashboard. So in dashboard, you are able to put visualization created from different data sets. So that's possible. And if you want to add your visualization in the dashboard, then you can use this pin icon on the visualization. So if you put your mouse cursor on each visualization, on the top right corner, there will be this pin icon showing up. So if you click that, it will be added into the dashboard. So for example here, if I put my mouse cursor on this line graph, then basically here on top right corner, there are multiple icons, and this in the middle there is this icon saying pin visual. So if you click this icon, you are able to add it into dashboard basically. So I can choose the option to add this visualization into new dashboard, and for the dashboard name, I can simply type test BA, something like that. And then if I click pin, it will be added into the dashboard. So you will see this message on the top right corner. So it's pinned to dashboard. So if I want to look at that dashboard, I can simply click go to dashboard, or the dashboard will be shown up here on the left navigation bar. So currently here, there's test BA added. So if I click this, yeah, I can see that this visualization is added in my dashboard like this. And another thing I want to talk about is this. So so far, when you make a visualization, basically you have to think about it. So you think about what kind of visualization I want to make, and basically you are setting each field and options to create a visualization. However, in Power BI, you are also able to ask the Power BI to make a graph for you. So this feature is called the Insights in Power BI. And basically it's a feature to ask Power BI to look at and analyze your entire data set from many different angles and ask them to find some useful information to make a visualization. So it's not 100% perfect, and some of the visualization you will see will not be that useful, but it's a good feature to have an idea about your data set. So if you are not sure where to start to visualize your data set in the beginning, you may utilize this option to ask Power BI to present some visualization first. So how to use this feature is very simple. So you have to find your data set first. So if I here look at on the left navigation bar, if I scroll it down, there's a data set section, and I imported this data set called the financial sample. And if you put your mouse cursor on it, next to your data set, you will see these three dots, right? And if you put your mouse cursor on it, it says open menu. So click these three dots. And here, there's this option saying get quick insights. So click this. So if I click get quick insights, so now it says searching for insights. So Power BI is looking at my data set to see whether there's any interesting visualization to present. So let's wait a little bit. Okay, so now it's ready. It says insights are ready. So if I click view insights, then these are the visualization, basically the Power BI prepared for me. So they think these might be interesting visualization that I am looking for. So if I find something interesting, then I can add it into my dashboard. So yeah, there's a relationship between units sold and sales, I mean, of course. And there are other graphs the Power BI created for me using my dataset like this. So if I think the first visualization is interesting, then I am simply able to click this pin visual icon on the top right corner and add it into my dashboard. So click this and choose the select test BA and click pin. And if I go to my dashboard, I will see that this visualization that Power BI created for me is added here right now. So basically that's it. That's the insight feature in Power BI. And also in Power BI, you are able to utilize natural language. Natural language means basically human language we are using in a daily life. So in Power BI, you are able to utilize English language in dashboard to ask what to do to your Power BI. So basically, you can create a visualization by simply asking to Power BI in English. So let me show you this really quick. So here, where you can use this feature, basically in the dashboard you can use it. So currently I'm in a dashboard called the test BA. And if you look at the top corner, top left corner here, there is this part saying ask a question about your data. So you can simply click this. And here you can ask a question. So I can say sales by country. Then Power BI will create this graph for you, basically. So it shows size of sales across different country. I can also say sales by segment by country. Then Power BI will prepare this visualization we created earlier automatically. Also, I can ask other information like sales in Germany. Then Power BI will create this aggregation information. So total sales in Germany, this company made is $23 million, something like that. So earlier visualization sales by segment by country. So if I like this visualization, basically so let's say that if I like this visualization, basically I can use this pin visual icon on the top here and add it into our dashboard again. So click this and click pin. And if I go to dashboard, I see that this visualization is also added here again. So that's basically all about the Power BI. So again, I think it's a very interesting tool. And the popularity of this kind of visualization tool is getting more and more important because now we have big data. And when you have big data, it's more difficult to represent and present nicely your data using traditional way. That's very difficult because the size of data is big and there are a lot of different variables you can utilize. So instead of presenting a static visualization, it's actually better to make interactive visualization so that the user and the audience can actually play with it and they are able to know more about the data. So, so basically, you are able to access to this Power BI for this Power BI free version using the Office 365 account. So while you are in the school, you can just access to this service and you can try it by yourself and you are able to acquire more knowledge of how to utilize this kind of tool. So once you know how to utilize this tool, then there are other similar tools like Tableau, and those are actually quite same, almost same. So it's easier to utilize other tools if you just master one tool. So that's my suggestion. So when you have time, just play with it and try to make some nice visualization. I think that will be, that will be good for you to get yourself familiarized with other data visualization techniques, basically. So that's all for this part, basically. Do you guys have any question about the Power BI or Power BI or any other questions? Okay. Then the next one is this one, FlySpeed SQL query. But actually, I'll not cover this part in the today's course. You can, all the steps are here, so you can follow it. So the reason that I'm not going to cover this part is one of the reasons is time limitation. We have other things to do, but I think we may not have enough time to cover everything. So for this part, I leave it up to you. So basically, what I want to mention is this. There are this kind of third-party application which will help you design query graphically. So when we talked about, so basically last time when we talked about the SQL in the database system, I actually talked about how to code SQL. So SQL is kind of a programming language, and you have to code it to retrieve data from the database server. So that's what many people are doing it. But if it is difficult to utilize code to retrieve data, then some people may utilize a visual query designer too. So one of them is a FlySpeed SQL query, which is free and which can work in the Windows, but if you are using Mac, it will not work. If you are using Mac, there are other software, other similar third-party application for query design, basically. So it's just something like this, basically. If you open the program and if you work on it, basically it's like this. So instead of designing query in code, basically you are able to put like tables here, like this. So these three tables are related by many-to-many relationship using this assignment table here. So you can put those tables you want to utilize in the query. You can put it here, and you can simply put which value you want to show, which variable you want to show as a result, and you can specify condition on the criteria like this. So if you make this query visually like this, the corresponding code will be shown here, basically. So based on this design of your query, the SQL code will be this, right? And then you are able to perform your query here using the graphic designer. So basically, the only difference is that you can use a graphical interface to design a query if you use this kind of third-party application. So I just want to mention that this kind of third-party application also exists to help you design a query easily. So that's all. So I skip this part. All the details and the steps are on the slide. So if you want to try, you can just download it, and you can follow the steps here. Then you should be able to utilize this kind of a tool, and you should be able to know how to use it, basically.